To, as you can see there, 1947, Hudswell Clark, and he went to the Peterborough sugar beet factory, Peterborough Sugar in Peterborough, and he spent his entire life pulling wagons of sugar beet around the sugar factory in Peterborough. In 1972, he was replaced by a little diesel shunter and put out of business. He was taken on and given to what was then the Peterborough Railway Society, which ended up being the Nene Valley Railway. When he was given, a suggestion was made, it was quite cute, they should paint him blue and put a one on the front, on the side and a face on the front, call him Thomas. The next suggestion was, well, yeah, let's have a bit of a naming ceremony. So they had a naming ceremony, and they invited gentlemen, quite old gentlemen then, to come and actually do the naming of the locomotive. I'll hold the name for a minute. Some already know because that really chuckles. And it ran here for many, many years, and it will run here for many, many years. It's very popular. It's probably our most popular locomotive. The kids love it. Parents love it because the kids love it. However, in the 90s, Thomas the Tank Engine and his pals, Thomas and Friends as it was called, wasn't it? Thomas and Friends became very popular. And they were bought by an American company, Mattel Toys, and they became, you remember the videos with Ringo Starr reading the stories, and they started making toy engines, became huge, big business. Now American companies are very protective of their trademarks and their copyright. Lots of preserved railways in the UK had locomotives called Thomas with faces on the front at one time, and slowly but surely they were approached by the American copyright lawyers, and their locos were repainted and they disappeared away. This is probably the only one left. We are probably the only railway that has a Thomas still, painted blue with a one on the front, called Thomas with a face on the front. And the reason is that the gentleman that was invited to name it when it was first named back in 1972 was invited here. There's a little plaque on the back here to commemorate his naming. And the locomotive was named Thomas on 26th of June 1971, by a vicar. Do you know who the vicar was, boys? The Reverend R.W. Awdry, the author who wrote the Thomas the Tank Engine books, named this locomotive Thomas. And I'm told there's a letter up in the archives of the railway that's kept very protected, that actually gives the railway permission from him personally to call their locomotive Thomas. And it was pointed out by to the American copyright lawyers that at that time he owned the copyright of his books, and therefore he was quite within his rights to give us permission to call our locomotive Thomas. And Thomas it will remain forever. We were, I'm told, reminded by said people that we can't call him Thomas the Tank Engine, because if we call him Thomas the Tank Engine, they'll have us. So we'll call him Thomas, and Thomas is a tank engine, but we can't call him Thomas the Tank Engine. So we call him Thomas, who is a tank engine. Can you remember that? Thomas, who is a tank engine. That then, ladies and gents, finishes